In this lecture, I'm going to discuss security zones. And in any network, you're going to have multiple security zones. So in this topology here, what I've got is I've got some employees at a branch office, and their network addressing is private, so they're on an inside network. Then I've got a branch office connected to a data center. I've labeled this as inside because this is private addressing as well, although sometimes it actually could be public addressing. And then there's a data center router here, and it's actually in 3 zones. It's got an inside interface, it's got a private network address, and it's got a public interface as well to the internet or the cloud. It's also got a connection to a firewall that's part of a demilitarized zone, or DMZ. DMZ is characterized by having inside addresses as well as, or I should say, private addresses and public addresses, kind of a mix of them. And so network addressing is one factor that defines security zones. So if you have an inside private address, it can't be routed across the internet. So it creates a demarcation there where any packets derived from the inside network have to be translated to a public address to be sent across the internet. So there's definitely a security zone there between inside and public. And DMZ is the same thing. If you've got an inside address and you've got another one with a public address, then you need network address translation to translate and move those packets between security zones. And the inside here, this is the data center inside servers, and they have private addresses as well. So one factor is network addressing, whether it's private or public. The next one would be ACLs, access control lists. So they define access. So what happens is, as your packets arrive at a firewall, ACLs are set up to permit or deny packets from specific users or subnets with specific protocols that they're allowed to either access or not access. So there's another security zone right at the firewall here between the internet and the inside network. So the firewall itself is a security zone, and it permits ACLs based on, like I said, whether the user is configured, and there's ACLs configured to permit or deny access to the inside network. And then when you get to the inside network, the actual security zone then is inside, and then you've got authentication and authorization, and that would happen typically at a server, but it sometimes can happen at a DMZ as well, where you permit a user based on a password. But it also could be things like tokens, certificates, or even biometrics. And once they're permitted, they've authenticated, then on the inside network, then you have server authorization, and then the server determines, based on how it's configured, what files and applications that a user can access. So this all sets up various security zones, and it's pretty standard for network security. And that concludes security zones.